That questioner at the White House, by the way, was Peter Doocy from Fox. That's what he's there for, to ask questions like that. He's the only one that's going to be asking those questions. I mean, wasn't that the obvious question of the day? I mean, once they found out what kind of ice cream Joe had for lunch, they couldn't ask Joe that because he can't remember back to what kind of ice cream he had for lunch. He can't remember what he had for lunch. He can't remember where he is. But it was okay for Joe to not wear a mask, even after he signed this order demanding that people wear masks on federal property and on transportation, interstate transportation, I guess, planes, buses, trains, which I thought you had to wear anyway. You know, it's not like this is anything new. This is less than what he promised, but he didn't wear it because he was celebrating. We'll play that cut again a little bit later. Meanwhile, as you know, Twitter has banned President Trump and all of some of his family members and members of his administration and assorted conservatives. However, they have not banned Tasnim News. That's a private news agency in Iran. They just tweeted out a photo of Trump golfing with a caption that reads, "Revenge is inevitable," i.e., it's a death threat. But that's okay. That's okay. Trump saying, "I want you to go down to the Capitol and demonstrate peacefully and patriotically," that gets him banned. But to post a death threat against the former president of the United States, that's okay because it's Orange Man bad. Let's go to the chump line.
Howie, Joe Biden calling. Come on, man. What a great day that was yesterday. I took the office of oath, and then I went to the White House and had the early bird special, which included 2 scoops of tapioca pudding. Then I went to the basement, popped out my dentures, and it was in bed by 7 p.m. Oh, I better pace myself. This is getting tiring. I mean it.
How many reruns of Bonanza has he watched since noon yesterday? Probably a lot. Here in the West, we're living in the best bonanza. If anyone fights any one of us, he's got to fight with me.
I hope Trump left a My Pillow on every bed in the White House.
Yeah. Mike Lindell, he just wants to get to the bottom of what happened on November the 3rd. So he has to be banned from Bed Bath and Beyond and Macy's and Kohl's and God only knows where else. But these Iranians, they can post death to the great Satan and, we're going to take care of you. And it's okay. It's okay. It's like, did you see Amazon has decided they want to help out with the vaccine distribution? How come they didn't want to help out with the vaccine distribution when the vaccine distribution was first announced 2.5 months ago? Could it have something to do with who was in the White House at the time? The Chump Line is brought to you every weekday by Matthews Brothers, America's oldest window manufacturer, reminding everyone who purchased any of our wicked awesome windows or doors in 2020 to make sure you take advantage of your tax credit when you file this year, proving once again that windows are a much better investment than toilet paper.
So Jen Psaki says that the Trump administration lied to us for 4 years, and now she says the Biden administration is going to tell us the truth and we can trust her. Ooh, I feel warm and fuzzy inside.
You know, one of my favorite quotes, "You can trust me, I'm not like the others." Anytime someone tells you you can trust them, reach for your wallet.
I wonder if anybody read the fine print on those executive orders. At the very bottom, it says 10% for the big guy.
Yeah, it's unclear. This could be another future question for Peter Doocy. Mr. President, Mr. President, we're unclear from Hunter's laptop communications. He tells your granddaughter, his daughter, that he has to kick up 50% to the big guy. Yet when you're setting up another straw corporation to launder cash from the red Chinese, he says he's holding 10% for you. So which is it? Is it 10% that the big guy gets, or is it 50%? Or is it a sliding scale depending on how much dough there is? How do you think that question would go over? Go ahead.
Well, the little ones at the pool were rubbing the hairs on Joe's legs. Was that the press pool?
It could have been, although I think the little kids at the age of 5 or 6 were probably a little more sentient than any of the people in the White House press corps.
Howie, Hunter Biden calling. Oh man, I'm tripping. I just had this hallucination that the big guy became president. Oh, Barn Owl!
Where are they going to put the brass pole, Hunter, in the White House? That's what everyone is asking. When are you going to bring in the first stripper?
Joe Biden says he has full confidence in his new press secretary, Jen Pistachio.
Let me hear that cut from her again. And this is Peter Doocy's question. This just happened a few minutes ago about why he wasn't wearing a mask at the Lincoln Memorial, why he wasn't walking the walk after talking the talk, as they used to say.
Why weren't President Biden and all members of the Biden family masked at all times on federal lands last night if he signed an executive order that mandates masks on federal lands at all times?
At the inaugural...
At the Lincoln Memorial, yes.
I think, Steve, he was celebrating an evening of a historic day in our country. And certainly he signed the mask mandate because it's a way to send a message to the American public about the importance of wearing masks, how it can save tens of thousands of lives. We take a number of COVID precautions, as you know, here in terms of testing, social distancing, mask wearing ourselves as we do every single day. But I don't know that I have more for you on it than that.
Right. It was sending a message to the American public, as if they haven't gotten the message already. The message is, you'll do what we tell you to do, but we know this is all BS and nonsense, so we're not going to do it. This is a mark of your subservience to us, the ruling class. This is the way you show that you know who your masters are. And the masters don't need to wear the masks.
Biden's plan, if it ain't broke, break it.
Yes. And the journalist's plan is, it used to be comfort the afflicted and afflict the comfortable. Now the message of the Washington, just the big media in general, afflict the afflicted, comfort the comfortable.
I've been trying to figure out Trump derangement syndrome. Picture little kids around a campfire telling ghost stories until they freak themselves out.
Yeah. And it's obviously not going to end. But think about this. Suppose Trump had signed a mask mandate for federal lands and then showed up strolling around the Lincoln Memorial or anywhere in D.C. or a national park, anywhere, an army base, not wearing a mask. There would have been thundering editorials, hectoring, enraged, live shot reporters who've never covered a fire screaming about President Trump. But this is just, he was celebrating.
Lovey, can you believe Mike Wallace's praise for Biden's speech? Saying that was the best ever inaugural speech is like saying that Deerfield's the best ever prep school. It's the most ridiculous thing I've ever heard.
Deerfield's a lot closer to being the best prep school in the world than that speech was to being the best inaugural address ever, I'll tell you that.
According to Wallace, the little nerd, Plug's speech was the best he's ever heard. I guess the twit has dumped Mitt. His new man crush is even more absurd.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. Do we have that Wallace cut just in case people didn't hear it? We'll get it in a minute. Chris Wallace.
Thought it was a great speech. I've been listening to these inaugural addresses since 1961. John F. Kennedy, Ask Not. I thought this was the best inaugural address I ever heard.
Oh boy, what an absurd thing to say. Incidentally, on the cable coverage yesterday, CNN drew 9 million viewers, a little over 6 million for MSNBC, 2.5 million for Fox. Some of that has to do with the fact that the people who used to watch Fox didn't want to see Joe Biden, but a lot of it just has to do with how few of those people who used to watch Fox are still watching anything on Fox. But again, they were beaten almost 4-1 by CNN, and they were beaten more than 2-1 by MSNBC.
Should we put an asterisk after Joe Biden's name like they did in baseball?
Yeah, how long is he going to last? Probably longer than William Henry Harrison. But who served the second smallest amount of days? I don't know, but he's probably going to be. William Henry Harrison, I think, served 31 days because he caught pneumonia at his inaugural. Died. Biden will serve longer than that, and I don't think he'll die, but he'll be escorted out by a couple of guys in white coats, and everyone will say it was the best thing for him. He did his best.
That was your last Chump line message. Thank you for calling Howie Carr. You chump.
860 says, it is entirely possible that Biden doesn't realize the Lincoln Memorial is federal property. It's possible he doesn't realize the White House is federal property too, actually. All right, that's it for the Chump Line today. The Chump Line is the recorded voicemail message service of the Howie Carr Show. You can call and leave a message at any hour of the day or night, as long as it's between 1 and 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 1 and 4 p.m. The Chump Line number, if you want to leave such a message, 844-500-4242, 844-500-4242. Press 2 for the Chump Line. Leave your message. We may or may not play it at this time each weekday. And if you want to hear more messages from the Chump Line, you could always get our podcast, Chopped Chumps. We post it at 7 o'clock every evening, weekday evening. And it includes the messages that didn't make the Chump Line, that were left on the cutting room floor. Get your Chopped Chumps wherever you get your Howie Carr Show podcasts. The Chump Line is brought to you by Matthews Brothers, America's oldest window manufacturer, reminding everyone who purchased any of our wicked awesome windows or doors in 2020 to make sure you take advantage of your tax credit when you file this year, proving once again that windows are a much better investment than toilet paper.
I hope Trump left a My Pillow on every bed in the White House.
I'm Howie Carr.
You're tuned into the Howie Carr Radio Network.